let's talk about cardiac effects. EMFs produce changes in the control of the heartbeat, the electrical control of the heart. They produce tachycardia, very rapid heartbeat. They also produce arrhythmias. They produce, and this typically occurs over time, but not always, they also can produce bradycardia, slow heartbeat. They produce heart palpitations, and they also produce sudden cardiac death. And all these things involve the electrical control of the heart. There are effects that have been studied in animals, both in amphibia and in rodents, where the heart, when you have a heart either in the animal's body or even outside the body, where it has no neuronal connections, that all the neuronal connections have been cut, those hearts can be impacted in these ways by EMF exposures. And it's thought that, and you can do this in anesthetized animals, and you see this. So there's no neuronal thing. So these are direct effects on the heart, and I believe that they are direct effects on the pacemaker cells in the sinoatrial node of the heart, which are the cells that control the heartbeat. Okay, so and what's been shown is that there was an animal study that was shown where long-term EMF effects produced a heart failure-like changes in the structure of the sinoatrial node of the animal heart. So there are studies that specifically implicate the sinoatrial node where the pacemaker cells are occurring as being heavily impacted by EMFs. And anyway, and I believe that the reason that the pacemaker cells are heavily impacted is they have high densities of these VGCCs, and the VGCCs are very, very important in terms of producing these pacemaker activities of these cells. So there's nothing surprising about that in terms of our understanding of the physiology of the system. So now, obviously, when you have EMFs producing heart failure-like changes in the sinoatrial node of the heart, then that's a very great concern, because heart failure tends to develop cumulative, tends to get worse and worse with time. And so this can be a big issue. We have an epidemic of young, apparently healthy athletes dying in the middle of an athletic competition. I'm sure you've seen news articles about these things, of apparent sudden cardiac death. And so, so this is, and there is, by the way, some evidence from 5G, observations, which I discussed in my, in the paper I published last May, where there is effects on the heart, and so the concern is that we may end up with much higher levels of cardiac effects, including sudden cardiac death, from these new highly pulsed exposures, and that's a great concern.